Hello friends, today let's discuss Indian Penal Code and Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. I'll give a comparative analysis. Let's look at the contents. First, I'll go forward with the introduction, then the key changes included under BNS, then I'll discuss about community service, sedition, sexual intercourse by deceitful means, hit and run cases, mob lynching, organized crime and petty organized crime, snatching, terrorists act, and then I'll be concluding my lecture. We are all aware that before the IPC was formalized in India, it was the Mohammedan law which was governing criminal law in India. It was Lord Macaulay who first under his chairmanship started codifying laws related to offences. It is pertinent to mention here that the word crime has not been defined, but offences have been defined. IPC was replaced by BNS, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and CRPC, that is the Code of Criminal Procedure, was replaced by Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and Indian Evidence Act was replaced by Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. All three bills were reintroduced again to incorporate the changes recommended by the Standing Committee. The three bills were passed by Lok Sabha on 28th December 2023 and Rajya Sabha on 21st December 2023, and then all the three bills moved for President's assent, and the assent was given. The BNS and BNSS and BSA all were brought into force in the year 2024. The outdated provisions such as unnatural sexual offences, sedition, and Section 309 of IPC were removed, and now the BNS has recognized organized crimes, terrorist acts, mob lynching, hit and run cases, and many more. Let us delve deeper into the changes brought forward by BNS. The chapters have been reduced to 20 chapters and the sections have been reduced to 358 sections. Even inchoate crimes have been defined. Inchoate means incomplete. There are two fundamentals when it comes to crime, mens rea and actus rea. If either of them is absent, then that will be considered to be an inchoate crime. The colonial terms such as British Crown have been replaced with Government of India, and archaic language such as minor has been replaced with child below the age of 18, and lunacy has been replaced with persons of unsound mind. We can say that the lawmakers were sensitive towards the well-being of the people who are mentally disabled. The extraterritorial jurisdiction when it comes to abatement has been extended under the BNS. Theft includes theft of vehicle, theft of government property, and theft of idol from place of worship. Even snatching has been defined under Section 304 of BNS. In the chapter which deals with offences against women and children, the provisions have been made gender neutral as perpetrators can be even women. The BNS has recognized even third gender under its ambit. It's not just restricted to man or woman alone. It recognizes even third gender. Section 85 deals with domestic violence under the BNS, and under IPC, attempt to suicide was criminalized, but under BNS, only attempt to suicide with an intention to make a public servant work was held to be criminalized, and other acts such as attempt to suicide, which is pretty normal or pretty much a general law, that has been made decriminalized. Mob lynching is also defined under Section 103 of BNS. I will be discussing about mob lynching in a while. And organized crime and petty organized crimes have been dealt separately, and sedition has been replaced with acts endangering the sovereignty and integrity of India. It includes even acts which are against public tranquility. One of the most significant feature of BNS is that it has recognized community service as the sixth form of punishment. Rehabilitation and reformation is the key for the contemporary world. Section 4F of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita has introduced community service as a form of punishment. The movie Sitare Zameen Par dealt with community service. The actor was caught for drunk and driving, and he was asked to become coaches for mentally challenged people. And the Sitares proved that why they can also be basketball players. So that is what community service is all about. As I had told earlier, sedition has been replaced with acts endangering the sovereignty of India. Section 152 of BNS includes that spoken words or written words through electronic means as well as through visual representation, which excites or instigates people to go forward with secession of territory of India and engage in armed rebellion, then that would endanger the sovereignty and integrity of India. And those acts would be called to be acts endangering the sovereignty and integrity of India. It is pertinent to mention here that the act is punishable with life imprisonment, and here community service will not be encouraged. Community service is only with respect to petty offences. The other change that has been introduced under BNS is that sexual intercourse by deceitful means, that is, sexual intercourse with a woman with a false pretense of marriage, amounted to rape under IPC, but it is no more rape under the BNS, but it is nevertheless subjected to 10 years imprisonment or fine. Let me tell you, this provision was misused heavily, and that's why the provision which amounted to rape was reduced to mere sexual offense. The other significant feature of BNS is that it has introduced mob lynching. When a group of five or more persons acting in concert commit murder on the ground of race, caste, community, sex, etc., then such group shall be punishable with death or life imprisonment. Thus, if you break down, there should be a group of five or more persons. They must have acted in concert, that is, they must have a common agenda, that is to target a particular community or sex or place of birth. So there should be both mens rea and actus rea. In the erstwhile IPC, there were provisions regarding common intent and common object that has been made a part of this provision. There will be perpetrators, executors, and masterminds in a crime. All these people will be a part of mob lynching and they will be sentenced to either death or life imprisonment. Even organized crimes have been introduced under BNS. Here, a crime syndicate will have done murders, and the section clearly mentions that for organized crime, the punishment can range from 5 years to life imprisonment. Even petty organized crime have found a significant place under BNS, and it includes theft, snatching, cheating, and public examination paper leakages, all these things have been recognized as petty organized crimes. Under the explanation to Section 111, economic offense has been defined and it includes forgery and counterfeiting of currencies. In the IPC, there was a separate section which dealt with forgery and counterfeiting. The provision is nevertheless worded the same. Continuing unlawful activity. This is also significant development in the BNS. Unlawful activity can mean an activity which is prohibited by law. For an illustration, let us suppose that X wanted to participate in a public campaigning. He gets instigated by Y to go forward and speak against the public speaker who was coming to the public campaigning. He goes and blocks the road and doesn't allow the people to gather in the public campaigning. That would amount to an unlawful activity. It is quite different compared to terrorist activity. In terrorist activity, there will be threat to the sovereignty and integrity of India. I will be discussing about terrorist act in the next slide. Terrorist acts can mean an act which can threaten the sovereignty and integrity of India, and it includes acts which lead to death, destruction to property, and instability in monetization or money supply in India, and disruption of essential supplies. All these have been recognized as acts which are terroristic in nature. Here, there will be intention to strike terror in the eyes of people as well as to the unity and integrity of India. It includes hijacking and abduction. Thus, I would like to conclude by stating that there is a need to introduce a separate chapter which deals with false DV cases and false sexual assault cases. It is a transition from colonial laws to Indianized laws. Community service has reassured that even offenders should be rehabilitated. Crimes such as organized crimes, terrorist act, mob lynching, etc. have been introduced under the BNS. These were not present in the erstwhile IPC. Thank you for listening to my lecture. In the comments, do let me know what is an organized crime and what is mob lynching in your own words.